Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zach. Today I'm going to be giving an update on IDEX from my video last week. So make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow. Subscribe and leave your notifications on to get the latest out of these videos. I'm going to go through technical analysis, and then I do have some recent news and how I'll be playing the stock. Make sure to follow all the way through just because there is important information here coming through. So without further ado, let's go through technical analysis. This company here has hurt a lot of people who held through the earnings, and it definitely did see a massive drop. Something related to going on all the way from around $1.80 to $1.30 in somewhat like 10 seconds. So that was painful to watch, definitely, even though I wasn't in the stock particularly in that time, but it definitely looked tough. So there is a little bit of hope here, and let's jump right into it. You get to see here on technical analysis, MACD here is a little bit rough. It's not confirming whether this negative reversal will continue on or not, or will hold at this current price. The IDEX is trading a little bit towards sloppy, but the price is oversold currently in the Williams percent R, and momentum seems to be not dipping that far off, still just barely 0.01 in terms of momentum, and it's holding its price through. Now we still do see a little bit of a massive jump and a little bit of a downtrend here going on, but that's definitely on a red week. So it has done good on a red week with a lot of stocks that took a beating, but this one took a beating way ahead on a Monday. Now in terms of stock moving averages, I'm gonna here zoom on very quickly. Okay, so what we're seeing here is that stock is still bullish on the 200 SMA. 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, so that is bullish, but the stock price is under the 50 SMA, which is bearish, and usually that's where you consider selling a stock, but this is definitely a little bit more towards news and would be trading a little bit more on the values of the company. So we did see here a Death Star that did happen on the 4th. Did a little bit dip down, but that Death Star has already been played through. That's when the 50 SMA comes from the top under to the 200 SMA and dips below it. The stock moving averages really look very much complicated because they're all touching. 50 SMA, 10 SMA, and 30 SMA are all very much on the same level. IDEX shows very much a possibility of creating a trend, but it's really at a sloppy level after that massive drop. The MACD here on the 1 hour scale doesn't give us much. It does show that there might be a little bit of perhaps a testing for reversal on Monday, but that's very much unlikely, at least as close as Monday, but it has a little bit of a longer view that I'll mention in a minute or in a bit. Williams percent R is sitting in neutral almost all day on the 1 hour scale. So let's try it on and go on through the moving averages, and you get to see the stock is trading on the below band of the moving averages. That band is sitting at 1.3, in middle is 145, and the top of the band is 159 here at CN. You get to see also an unbalanced volume that has increased, so that is definitely good. People are taking in attention to this one and adding it to their swing. They do know that there is a possibility for this stock to still jump back up. This is the Fibonacci retracements on this stock here, sitting up from 398 all the way from 0.37 cents, and you get to see that Fibonacci support is at 122, and that's been tested around 3 times before, and it did play nicely before. The 175 was a resistance and was a support briefly before the drop towards the earnings. Now going on towards the 1 hour intervals, and let's actually just erase this one quickly. We're going to go through the 1 hour intervals and then try to plot that Fibonacci retracements. Of course, there's no trend line. The trend line here has been broken due to that drop, so it's going to be trading basically on supports, which was 122 is the lowest. The current resistance on Fibonacci retracement is 140, but let's try to look into current supports and resistances. So the current support is sitting at 132 for this stock. Below that, we're sitting at 1.31, 1.3, and then we're going on down to 1.3 around here, and then 128, 127, 125. And then we're seeing all the way down to 124, 123, and 121. Or sorry, 122. It never hits 121. Now going on towards resistances currently, we're seeing 1.33 resistance, which is actually sitting at right now. 135, 136, 138. And then we're seeing 140. And then we're seeing a 142. and then 143, 145, and you get the rest. It basically goes on 1 cent above because of all the bag holders that have been around here and they do want to break even. So definitely there is a trend there, but it's going to be more of a slow trend. But we need to identify where that trend is. So before doing so, let's just jump right into the current news that is supporting the stock and what's going on. So of course the earnings, a quick dive through the earnings, and I'm going to just increase my screen size here just a little. That did not work. Okay, so the 10Q filings don't work. Okay, there we go. And we're seeing here that there is a bit more cash towards this company from June 2020 towards where December is. Okay, so this works nicely. And we get to see here that things like total assets has increased from the last years and 6 months. In the last 6 months period going on ending December 31st compared to June 30th. We get to see as well total liabilities has decreased, so that's definitely positive. We're seeing total liabilities, convertible, redeemable preferred stocks, that has increased from the year before. And the shareholder equity has doubled, and we've already seen that on the charts alone. Revenues from the company from third parties have gone from 4,685,000. That's actually 4.6 million from 354,000. So that's definitely a really massive increase. But here's the thing, they did have from 2019 14 million on revenues from related parties, and that was increased on. So that's why you have a gross profit of magnitudes lower, going on from 255,000 compared to from 13.8 million. So there definitely a massive drop there. But that's from what I've understood from where the conference was, is that a lot of that cost is coming in from a one-time payment off revenue of third parties, in terms of acquisitions and current assets. That's my understanding towards it. Now going on towards revenue overall, what we're seeing here is a net loss going on from 26.6 million compared to a positive revenue from around 5.3 million. So definitely basic has gone from positive to negative, going on to negative 0.15 to 0.05. There has been a lot of companies strategic movements, and that is definitely an explanation to the change of cost, and that is understandable. Now moving on towards institutional shares, and you get to see after this massive drop, and so we're talking about a drop that was on Monday, a little bit around 11th of August. So that is where we're looking at, and you get to see here that there has been a lot of institutional interest going on there. There has been a little bit of dumping a little bit earlier, a bit of institutions a bit scared on it, but what you get to see from the 11th, Bank of Montreal has a bit more shares there. Goldman Sachs added a bit more. Credit Suisse decreased. Bank of New York decreased. But as we get closer to what we are today, so on the 14th, you get to see a lot of new shares. Around, I would say, something related to 200, almost 600, 700,000 shares added. There's definitely around 300,000 shares left on there. So the difference is that institutional interests are actually increasing for this company rather than decreasing. So that's definitely good news, saying that, hey, institutions are interested in this company. Now, what do I expect from this company or the stock price? Okay, so definitely this week is a red week. The worst thing that can happen is that it does trade down to 122, although it seems that there is a very, very strong support at 130 right now. And then 128 is another very much of a strong support that I've seen on level 2, where people try to put their bid walls. I do expect the stock to still jump back up at least to the 150s to the 160s. I'm not sure about above going on to where the $4 was that we've seen before, but going on to quarter 3, a lot of people have this mentality that this stock is going to go really well on quarter 3. So there is potential there. Now, whether I buy or sell in terms of the stock, would there be an offering kind of chance or an offering risk? I do remember seeing a 424B file on there that's been put back way up. So let's try to look right here. 424B2, a bunch of them actually. And what this says is that they have a proposed. So this was I don't think this one is actually, I think, is more of a close one. No. So there is still shelf offering, and that's expected with a lot of these stocks. And that's a chance that they were going on there to it. So definitely not an instant kind of off scare. Especially this one is way dated back in June. So I wouldn't be much scared about this kind of offering shelf. They haven't exercised it in a while, and their assets are a lot higher. I don't think there's an offering coming. So I would expect that this stays around above 130 unless some negative PR comes out. And I would definitely consider this as a hold, as I do see a future spike or future pops coming in for this stock. Would I buy it right now? I definitely want to see it hold that 130 price, and if it does hold it through next week, I'm very much considering buying the stock. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.